Okay, so you hear a lot about Taiwan's business leaders getting older, right? And the usual story is that the big, established companies just won't give young people a chance. But what if that's not the real story? What if the problem isn't about old companies, but about the fact that we're not building enough new ones? Let's dig into the numbers.
First off, let's just get a sense of how big this problem really is. An incredible 87% of companies in Taiwan are facing a succession crisis. And we're not talking about some far-off future issue. This is happening right now, putting thousands of businesses on shaky ground.
And this trend, it's hitting the entire economy. You look at small and medium-sized businesses, and over 20% of the owners are over 60. But check out the data for the big corporations. It's even more shocking. In 2023, the number of leaders under 45 was 0, not 1. The boardrooms are literally graying out.
So, why is this happening? Well, the most common answer you'll hear is pretty simple. Old companies are just stuck in their ways. They don't want to promote the next generation. But is it really that straightforward? Or is there something else going on here that we're missing?
Think about it. When a business has been around for decades, running it isn't just about having a great new idea. It's about deep, first-hand knowledge, managing complex supply chains, knowing your clients for years, understanding every little operational quirk. That's the experience advantage. And honestly, it's a huge mountain for any newcomer to climb, no matter how talented they are.
So this really sets up two completely different roads to the top, right? In an established company, the name of the game is succession, and the biggest hurdle is gaining that deep experience. But if you're building a startup, the path is all about innovation. The challenge there isn't experience, it's just trying to stay alive.
And that leads us to a really important question. If starting something new, innovation, is the most practical way for a new generation of leaders to emerge, then where are they? The fact that we're not seeing them suggests that something is seriously wrong with that path. And the answer, it turns out, is hiding in the data on startup survival. Just take a look at this. Back in the 1980s, if you started a company, you had a 70% chance of making it 5 years. Pretty good odds. But now, watch what happens. By the 90s, that number drops to about 40%. Fast forward to the 2010s, and we're down to just 10%. And today? Well, today that path of innovation looks less like a path and more like a cliff.
1%. Just let that number sink in. For every 100 people who pour their hearts, their time, their savings into a new company, only one of them will still be around in 5 years. This, right here, is the real heart of the issue. The pipeline that's supposed to create our next generation of leaders, it's almost completely dried up.
So how do we get to a number as brutal as 1%? Well, it's what some people call the valley of death, and it happens in 2 stages. First, out of 100 startups, a whopping 90% fail in the first year alone, so only 10 are left. Then, of those 10 survivors, another 90% fail over the next 4 years. It's this incredibly tough filter that leaves just that one single company standing. And this totally reframes the problem, doesn't it? It's not that old doors are locked shut, it's that building a new door has become nearly impossible. We've been so focused on who's going to take over existing companies, but the real crisis is the collapse of the very ecosystem that's supposed to be growing our future bosses.
All right, so let's just pull all of this together. We know Taiwan's corporate leadership is getting older, fast. The popular theory blames big companies for not promoting young people. But the real path for new leaders to rise up has always been through innovation and starting their own thing. And the data shows the real culprit is that this path has become almost impossible, with survival rates crashing from 70% all the way down to 1%. So the problem isn't a lack of promotions, it's a lack of creation.
This just changes the entire conversation. The question we need to be asking isn't just how do we get old leaders to retire, it should be how do we build an ecosystem where new leaders can actually be born and survive. The challenge isn't about managing the end of a career, it's about making it possible for new ones to even begin. So how can we make entrepreneurship a viable path for the young again?